This problem of leadership is a serious problem for Am Yisrael, because in a certain sense we're all leaders. What Korach is saying is really true. Because V'atem tihiyu li mamlechet kohanim. With your permission, we would like to study this evening the weekly portion of Korach, beginning with the 16th chapter of the book of Numbers. One of the most complex stories in the book is this rebellion that's headed by a man named Korach. Now Korach, according to our tradition, was a great man. And many of the commentaries try to deal with the question, how could such a great man be involved in such an activity which seems to be so problematic? Beginning a major rebellion against the leadership of the Jewish nation, against Moshe and against Aharon. One of the claims of Korach is the assemblage of Korach gathered together against Moshe and against Aharon, against Moses and against Aaron. And they say, Rav lachem, vayikahalu al Moshe v'al Aharon. They gather together against Moshe and against Aharon. And they say to them, it's too much. We don't need you to be the leaders. You know why? Ki chol ha'ida kulam kedoshim. Because the entire nation is holy. Uv'tocham Hashem, and in their midst, in the midst of the entire nation, is God. So umadua titnasu'u al kahal Hashem. So why is it, therefore, that you elevate yourself? Why do you exalt yourself over the congregation of God? Who are you? What? We don't need leaders. We don't need you to be the leaders. We're all leaders. That's the claim of Korah. Moshe is the head of the nation. Aharon is the head of the sanctuary, and other members of the family are appointed to positions of leadership. Kol ha'eda kulam kedoshim. And in several Hasidic works, they point out that perhaps the claim of Korah is really true on some level. The whole nation is really holy. You know, Am Yisrael really has a problem with leadership. You know why? Because in a certain sense, they're all leaders. You know, there's a political joke about this. I don't know anything about jokes or about politics. So you know,
Chaim Weitzman.
What was something about that? You have a nation. What was that?
Chaim Weitzman visited Truman for the first time, and Truman asked him to make a decision. So he said, at the time in Israel there were let's say a million people. So he said, "You have 200 million Americans, and you're one president. I am a president, and I have a million leaders."
V'atem tihiyu li mamlechet kohanim. If you read, let's say, Pri Tzaddik, Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen, one of the great Hasidic masters, he writes that Korach felt we don't need Moshe to be our leader. We don't need Moshe to see God. We all saw God. Ki chol ha'ida kulam kedoshim. Says Rabbi Tzadok, we have a tradition. It's in the Midrash, and Rashi quotes it in his commentary on the 15th chapter of Exodus, when they speak about the song of Moses and the Jewish people. Zeh keli v'anvehu. The word, this is my God. This, zeh. So the rabbi said when you use the word zeh, it's almost like if you're pointing. Zeh keli. What do you mean zeh keli? Ra'ata shifcha al hayam. Ma shelo ra'a Yehezkel. Even the maid servant, the maids, the servants, the slave, everybody saw God. They saw God. They had an experience of God. They had a prophetic message of the divine on a greater level than the greatest, the prophets, more than Ezekiel. So Korach says, if that's the level the nation is on, so who needs Moshe and who needs Aharon? And the way he reads it, if everyone is a prophet, if everyone is on a prophetic level, so madua titnasu'u? Madua titnasu'u al kahal Hashem? Why is it that you are elevating yourselves over the nation of God? In his language, this is the language of Rabbi Tzadok. V'hainu shehashifcha ra'ata kumo hagadol shebiYisrael hakol shavin. We are all equals. He was claiming that the nation of Israel are all on this great level. And if they're all on a great level, if they're all on an elevated level, we do not need special leaders. And he takes a teaching, which is a teaching which everyone here, I believe, is familiar with, a very famous teaching about how when they come to Sinai, they camped as one, facing the mountain, right? And the singular verb is used not vayahanu, but rather vayichan. And the rabbis teach something about ki ish echad b'leiv echad, like one person with one heart. Look at the 3rd chapter of Joel. And he speaks about how there will be a time, v'haya chareche eshpoch et ruchi al kol basar. Everyone will experience prophecy. V'nebbe'u v'nechem u'v'notechem, and your sons and your daughters will be prophets. Ziknechem chalomot yachalomun bachurechem chazionot yiru. Your young men will have prophetic dreams. Your elders and your young people, they will all be on levels of prophecy. V'gam al ha'avadim v'al ha'shefachot, even on the servants and on the maids. V'yamim ha'hem ha'eshpochet ruchi. Everyone. So Korach is saying, so we don't need Moshe and Aaron. And this theme seems to be a theme that's emphasized, trying to see the positive side of Korach, that there was something true about his argument. It's not a fool speaking. It's not just a troublemaker who gets up and says something, to bring down the leader. I believe it's the Arizal, if I'm not mistaken, Rabbi Isaac Luria, one of the great Kabbalists. The Ari says the last letters of the words of tzaddik, katamar, yifrach, that the righteous person will spring forth, will grow like a palm tree. The last letters of those 3 words, a famous psalm which we say every Shabbat, Psalm 92. Tzaddik, the last letter is a kuf. Katamar, the last letter is a resh. Yifrach, the last letter is a chet. There's something about the tzaddik, there's some aspect of Korach, which is the opposite of wicked, which is connected to the concept of tzaddik. I saw in several sources that there's a teaching in Jeremiah that the day will come when they will no longer have to teach anyone. No one will have to teach about the word of God because everybody will be aware of God. Jeremiah 31. Do it Hashem. There will be no need to instruct people about God. Because everyone will know me. From the youngest to the eldest. According to this reading, according to a reading in certain Hasidic works, Korach was in touch maybe with this prophetic message. He saw already an existence maybe that was, or that will be. And maybe as a result of this, combined with the fact that Isaiah speaks about V'amech kulam tzadikim, everyone is holy. Or, as one of the great Hasidic masters writes, he says, the rabbis teach that in the future, God will make this big circle, the teaching at the end of Tractate Ta'anit, and God will be in the middle of the circle. Atir HaKadosh Baruch Hu lasod machol hatzadikim, v'hu yoshev b'neihem, all the radii of a circle, ariku. So he says that's exactly what he saw here. The same word that's used in the Talmudic description of be'emtza. That's what Korach says. And God is right there in their midst. So perhaps Korach is seeing an existence that's not yet there. Sometimes you can have the greatest ideas, but if they're pronounced improperly or in an improper time or in an improper way, sometimes they can get very distorted. It can be great tragedies. Maybe he was ahead of his times, literally, and maybe his prophetic vision sometimes confused him with the reality. We hope each one in his or her own way can actualize the positive side of the teachings of Korah, so that ultimately we can get to such a world where Kol Ha'edah, Kulam Kedoshim, everyone is really so holy.
Even Moshe admitted he wishes that every Jew was a prophet. That was in, I think, last week's Parshat, right?
So maybe he was saying it's time to resign. Maybe you did such a wonderful job already, right? Like your job was to lead us. We are now so well led. Now we're all leaders. You have trained us to the point where we no longer need you. We are outdoing our teachers. Machkim et Rabba.